Yes, geezers, what's going on? It's Spezzy here. Update video time. It's been a little while. Let's have a little talk to the camera. The TLDR is I've got a second channel, which I'd really appreciate you going over to support and subscribe. I haven't actually uploaded in like a week now because I've been uploading Runeterra videos. I've not actually played it in like a week. Been a little bit burnt out of just, content creation. Been feeling a little bit unwell this week. Sort of like just, trying to get outside a bit more, going to the gym and all that sort of stuff. Get, myself in order first. But there's going to be videos going out there quite frequently. And I'd really appreciate you going to support me. There's still going to be like the normal Gwent content and also some non-Gwent content coming on the main channel when I think it's relevant and you guys will enjoy it. Also, I've got my stream schedule, which I've been sticking to for like 2 months now, which is 3:30 p.m. GMT every day. So in the afternoon UK time until like the early evening. And then on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, usually I'm streaming much longer than that as well. And that's going to be just Gwent stuff. Okay, cool. That's the main like bits of housekeeping. So what's my plans for the year? Why am I doing this video? Well, last year was my first year as a full-time Twitch streamer. I quit my job as a teacher. I didn't quit. I stopped teaching. The job I had sort of finished, and I was like, let me use this opportunity while we're in a pandemic to, see if I can commit to this full-time. And that's something I want to continue doing in 2022. But I also really need to get my independence and get my own place and move out. So there's been like a lot that I've been battling with, like, okay, I need to make sure my finances are in order because I've gone from living at home to, having my own place. So of course, there's a lot more financial demand in that sense. I've managed to get some savings and all that sort of thing, but the UK is really bloody expensive. So I was looking at moving to Bristol in the UK last year, and I just sort of kept putting it off with the COVID situation, thinking, is it really worth it? But also just the sheer amount of money that I'd be spending each month. I just felt like my savings would get eaten into quite quickly, and it would probably result in me taking on like a part-time job as well as the content creation, which ultimately is not what I want to do because I want to dedicate all my time that I possibly can to giving this the best shot I can to really make this a long-term career, not just something I do for a few years, which I believe I can do. I think I've got, the ethic, the work ethic to do it. And yeah, it's just, I love just playing video games, you get me? So it's not really, it shouldn't really be too tough for me to do if I put all my effort into it. I believe I can do it. And that's just something I'm worried about. If I was to move earlier last year, I'd be at a point now where I'd be like stressed about money. So I'd be making like decisions really about finances rather than just doing what I want to do. Like, for example, this second channel, I'm not making any money off of it yet, but it's like a long-term investment where I keep the Gwent channel going and then I can have a second YouTube channel on the side as, just diversifying my portfolio, if you like, and just having those extra revenue sources, which all can combine. Like, I've got my Twitch channel, my YouTube channel, and then a second YouTube channel. That's just going to make things a lot more healthy for me. So yeah, that's like one of the reasons. The other thing as well is I'm really leaning towards at the moment is actually moving to a different country. It's certainly not set in stone. Obviously Brexit happened in the UK, which means if I was to move to somewhere else in the EU, I would require a visa, which certainly complicates things. But that is something I'm really considering doing at the moment. And the main reason for that is the cost of living is significantly cheaper in a lot of other countries. But also, I've actually not been abroad since I was 18, mate. I've been quite, I don't want to say useless, but I've not exactly been, living like an exciting lifestyle when I was at university. I was sort of making easy choices. I was staying in my room a lot. And that's exactly what I've been doing during the pandemic. And the streaming part of my life is something I absolutely adore. But I don't have a social life. I've not really been going outside. I've not been going to the gym or working out. Anything like that, right? So that's a big reason I want to move. But why not go one step further? With the current job I do, I can go anywhere in the world and do it. In theory, all I need is a stable internet connection and some space that I can do my stuff in, So why not move somewhere where the cost of living is cheaper and somewhere where I can really explore? Like Bristol was my idea when I was teaching. I was speaking to all the other teachers that I work with and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go get some cover work and teach in Bristol. And then that just sort of continued even when I was, a full-time content creator. That was my plan, to move to Bristol and just do full-time content creation there. But the more I've been thinking about it, yeah, moving abroad somewhere just seems like such an exciting idea. And even if I only do it for a year, why the devil not? I could still move to Bristol down the line, where I've got quite a few good friends that live there. So where in the world am I planning on moving? Well, there's actually quite an obvious place where I know quite a lot of people, and that is Poland, mate. Obviously CDPR, Gwent team are based in Poland, and as a result, there's lots of people I know from Poland or that live in Poland. Warsaw in particular is basically the plan at the moment. Again, very early on in my plans. I've booked a visit in April to go and visit Warsaw, go meet some of my friends. It's gonna be my first time ever meeting people from the Gwent community in person, which is really exciting. There's actually a chance I might meet a few of the UK based people before that, but finally getting to that point where I can actually meet these people that I've been spending so much time with. I've been making Gwent content for 5 years. Okay, I've only been doing it like really for 2 years now, because I took a bunch of breaks and it was just very much a hobby, but I've really been doing it like every day almost for 2 years now. So to meet these people that I spend so much time with, I just can't wait. So yeah, Warsaw's the plan. Again, I need to try and get a visa accepted, which I think I should be fine with. I've obviously got a degree in teaching, which I don't think is going to do me any harm. And of course, I've done some work for CDPR with my Gwent casting. So I'm hoping with that side of things, as well as, you know, just the revenue, the income I make from my Twitch channel plus YouTube channel, that'll be enough to get a visa. But of course, Brexit does complicate things. Before Brexit, I would have just been able to go and just go for it without having to worry about all those sorts of things. Yeah, but I mean, already you can see, like, from my point of view, the fact that I'm considering like this move to a different country, it's already making me do things that I wouldn't be doing already. Like, I booked a flight for the first time since I was 17, you know, and even when I was 17, I don't think I booked a flight. I think my old man probably booked it for me. So, you know, it's already just making me do things that are outside my comfort zone. And listen, I don't speak Polish, but Warsaw is quite an English-speaking city. Certainly, you know, the younger generation there. And listen, you know, there's no better way to learn a different language than being in that environment and trying to pick it up, you know. But ultimately, what I do right now is I just sit in my room, I play video games and I stream, and that's the part of my life that I absolutely love. But I'm living in my hometown, I'm not really getting outside anywhere, I'm not able to go out because of, you know, like living with my family and you know, COVID. You know, if I go out, that, you know, impacts other people that I live with that are, you know, older generation and more at risk. Whereas if I move, I've just got my freedom, I can do what I want. You know, I'm 25, I'm going to be 26 this year, so it's definitely important for me to start living my life, you know. Like, I've loved this last few years, but as I say, the part of my life that I love is the content creation, the streaming. The part I don't love is everything else, where I'm just sort of sat in my home, not doing anything, festering, you know. And that's the other thing, like, that's sort of like about this update. I've been feeling quite unwell this week. Even still, like 3 or 4 days later since it started, I've still got like a bit of a headache. Been taking a lot of paracetamol. This isn't the first time it's happened. In fact, when I was teaching, I remember having like quite a lot of headaches for a while, like at just points where I was maybe stressed or not looking after myself that much. I don't know exactly. A lot of it could just be to do with like the lighting that I have. You know, I'm staring at a screen all day. My sleep isn't exactly great. I don't go outside very often. I've not been taking, is it vitamin C? Vitamin D, mate. Vitamin D, where I've got some tablets, which I've started taking those again because I don't go outside very often. All these things that I can sort of just improve on. My diet is not the worst, but certainly not great. I think I've come to a conclusion I've got some sort of eating disorder, which I kind of knew anyway, like where I just sort of go on like big binge eats. And a lot of you might not know, but I actually lost like a ton of weight like 3 or 4 years ago now. And I'm pretty much right now at the heaviest I've been like since that time, right when I started losing loads of weight. I've not put it all back on by any means. Like, I was actually quite a lot heavier at one point. But I've also got like this like 3 or 4 years of knowledge of how I can control that, which a big part is just don't have food in the house, right? Which is very difficult when I'm living at home. Again, like a lot of these things just link back to just having my independence, right? Now, where I live at the moment, like my old man is like a great chef and he cooks some very nutritious and wholesome, lovely food. But, you know, if there's like, for example, even just like bread or porridge downstairs and I'm hungry, I'm much more likely to eat it. Whereas if there's none of that stuff and I can control exactly what comes into the house, you know, it's just one of them things where I've kind of come to accept I've got like a bit of a binge eating issue, and that's fine. Like, I just have to live with that, and I think now I've come to accept that it's going to be a lot easier. And yeah, like I said, I've done it before. I've got lots of things that I learned. Like, I was actually really interested in nutrition, something I did a bunch of research on before COVID, but like it's been like 2 years now of like slowly steadily putting on, like probably even more than 2 years to be fair. Even before Corona, I was going to the gym 3 times a week, but I was eating quite a lot, like mainly salad, but I was eating a lot of salad, mate. Like I was for lunch, I was eating so much. So it's, you know, just something I've got to work on. And again, I think once I got my own place, my own freedom, that can just chill a bit and I can get on top of that. But I've been saying that for a long time, where I've been saying when I've got my own place, I'm going to start losing weight. And what's ended up, I just continue to put on more and more and more. And that just ultimately is making me feel worse and less confident, and all those sorts of things have just started like rearing their head, like my old self-esteem issues when I'm going out and stuff, just feeling like a bit, you know, like I used to feel, you know, and I kind of forgot what that feels like, and it's not very pleasant. So basically I need to sort my health out, and I've known that for a while. So I actually made my first trip to the gym like 2 days ago now. I'm still aching, which I've not had that feeling in a long time, and yeah, just get back on that. I'm going to try and go you know, like 2 or 3 times a week, mate. Like just something, you know. And I'm going to try and go during the week, like Monday to Friday when it's nice and quiet, because again, I live with my old man, who I don't want to, like, you know, be putting at risk or anything like that with what I'm doing. And that's been like a big thing I've been battling with this year. So yeah, just picking those times to go to the gym where it's nice and quiet. Happy days. When I'm going to the gym, I'm probably eating better, and that's the other big thing for me, just like not eating late at night. If I can just get to sleep earlier, that's not even a problem at all, you know. So when I lost a bunch of weight, like a big thing that I went for was go to bed feeling hungry, and that's something that I really struggle to do, but I have not been in the routine of doing that at all. You know, like staying up late playing video games and all that sort of stuff. You finish up, it's like quite early in the morning, and you go downstairs and eat a full meal. It's like it's just bad habits, you know. Like when like this morning, I've not eaten anything. It's like 3 p.m. It's just that last part of the day that's sort of been my vice, if you like. But yeah, that's like all my things just about like my health and my plans to move, really. I guess like the next thing is like, what's my plans for content this year? And it's pretty much of the same. Continue to upload every day Gwent videos. Now that hasn't been happening this week. I have been slacking a fair bit, but you can also look over to the Runeterra channel and see that's just been the same thing there. It's just one of them things where, you know, I've reached the point where I've kind of overdone it a little bit, and just had to take a bit of a break. And equally, in fairness, it is the end of a season. You know, we've got 1 week left of the season. So if ever there's a time to sort of slow down on putting a video out every day, now is the time to do it, really. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like the other thing is, as Priscilla's singing over here, is something I wanted to talk about, which relates to content, is balancing content and going for high placements on ladder and trying to qualify for official Gwent tournaments. Now, obviously, last year I casted a couple of Gwent tournaments. So I casted 1 Gwent tournament, and I was an analyst at Masters. That is something I hope to do again this year, but I have no guarantee that I'm going to be doing every event, which is, of course, like, you know, of course that's my goal, to cast every single event. But if that's not possible, like, why not try and qualify and play in one? Like, I think I've got it in me. Obviously, I've built decks for the last couple of Masters finalists. Freddie, who got to Masters finals in June, I was helping with a lot of those decks. And also Spyby, who won. I didn't help him as much as Freddie, certainly not. But, you know, like, I definitely gave, like, some input. Payer as well, who of course got knocked out by Spyby in the first round. Like I was chatting with him quite a lot, particularly about his syndicate deck. So I've definitely got that side of it. Now listen, I don't pretend that my gameplay is anywhere near the level of those guys, but you know, if I build a great deck, a great lineup, it's definitely possible that I could do it. You know, I got very close to making it to day 2. The last time I played in a qualifier, losing to Lord Triss in like by a point it was in the end, right? We tied. And if I beat him, I would have been in the final then. Obviously, he made it to Masters by the end of the year, so I can definitely compete with the best players. But that does become a problem when you're trying to do that on stream with that. You know, you do unfortunately get a few people that are... you know, they'll be watching your stream and seeing when you're queuing and playing good decks against what you do. That is unfortunately an issue that I try and not talk about very often, but is definitely an issue, without doubt. Moreover, though, is the fact that when I'm streaming, I just want to chill and talk to chat and just mess about. I want to play fun, interesting, unique decks. And there becomes a problem with when you're really trying to, like, climb up the ladder. Sometimes that's possible, but a lot of the time, particularly when there's months like this where there hasn't been new cards for a couple of months, the meta is quite settled. People know what the best deck is, and my biggest advantage I get is on a season when new cards are out. Like, you look at the Salamander deck, I got like the 5th highest syndicate score in the fewest games because there's new cards to build around, you know, and I feel like I can do that better than, you know, the vast majority of pro players. Like, they're better than me at the game, but I'm better at building decks. So in a season like this, it's quite difficult to be super creative. And what that means is I sort of have ended up doing neither. It's probably not a coincidence that I've started feeling burnt out as soon as I've started saying that I'm going to finish top 64, because I've been trying to, like, you know, play unique decks like this Gurney deck while climbing, and also potentially like being more successful in what I'm doing as a streamer, potentially having people queue into me intentionally to get some free wins. Now, listen, that has definitely happened this week a few times. And then as soon as it's happened a couple times, it sort of gets in your head that it's happening more, and it can be, you know, quite infuriating. And what I've ended up doing is I've not really ended up climbing for the top 64 because I've been trying to avoid decks like Alchemy, like Alumni, because I still want to make YouTube content, but then it means that I'm not really climbing that much. And also, I've ended up not even putting out YouTube content because I've not been experimenting with wacky decks and all those sorts of things. I've just been playing sort of the same decks over and over and over. So that's a bit of a crossroads. I need to work out what exactly I want to do. Am I going to push for top 64? Or am I just going to focus on content? Because trying to do both, mate, it's just not great. And I think probably what I'll come to the conclusion is I should probably not go for top 64. It's probably not the best idea. And what I should do is when a season we get a bunch of new cards, if I get a really good score with a particular deck that's going really well, then once I've got one really good score, like my Salamander deck last season, then I just push my other factions and it's not going to be too difficult. Whereas like at the moment, I feel like I'm probably just stressing myself out, mate, and getting burnt out with Gwent because I'm ending up playing a bunch more Gwent. I've had a much more healthy relationship with the game since I took a break back in September, where I don't play off stream anymore or anything like that. But yeah, like I think that's just something I need to work out. And I'm probably leaning, like I've definitely been saying for the last week, I'm going to finish top 64. And my ego, because I know I can do it like very easily if I was just to play the sweatiest decks and just go for it. Like I know I could do it without many problems, but it is a time commitment and it does have an impact on my my content. And I don't enjoy doing that as much, you know, like just playing these boring decks. Like you guys know me, I like, what I want to do is build unique, interesting, fun decks, which also perform at the highest level. That's what I like to do. So we need to work that much out. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover, really. Just like a little bit of an update. I didn't have a Gwent video to upload today. Actually, yesterday I was streaming and I was just decided because I had a headache, I'd just put some music on, which means I couldn't use it for YouTube. But the daily uploads are going to be back starting tomorrow, I would imagine. Maybe I'll do a few beginner videos. I might also do a few, just a few general videos like meta report type videos and those types of things, you know. So if you guys have got any video ideas for me, let me know. If also if you want to see any like more just IRL content, like React type content, also like when I move, I'm hoping to maybe like go out into the world a bit, travel and film some stuff and all that sort of stuff. Also I got a new chair, by the way. Big shout out to CDPR. They gifted me a flipping, can you see it? Yeah, you can. A flipping Witcher chair, guys. Thanks CDPR. So I'm going to do a video on that on a bit of a review. Unfortunately, I put it on the wrong way. And you know, chairs are supposed to like lean backwards. Yeah, I put it together badly. So, but yeah, CDPR flipping gifted me like a £500 chair, mate. What? Outrageous. So yeah, thanks for that. That's pretty outrageous, isn't it, mate? But yeah, that's the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Again, subscribe to the second channel if you've watched this far. And if you have watched this far, peanuts, mate. Peanuts is the word to let me know that you've done so. I really do appreciate all the support. And let's make sure that 2022 is a year where I flipping smash it. Basically, it's just a big make or break year, you know. Like I could easily just keep only doing Gwent and just, you know, grow and then cap out. Or I could start pushing the boundaries and don't, you know, just settle, because I'd be a fool if I just settle. That's a Little Sims lyric. Thanks, guys. See you soon.